Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Ron Doyle on Maryland's Eastern Store. I'm a master electrician and I'm doing a trim out job. I want to give you a quick video on how to wire in an outlet that has two 14.2 NM Rollmax wires coming into the box. I'm going to do it in two different fashions. I'm going to do it with a pigtail. I'm going to do it without a pigtail for illustration purposes. You don't need the pigtail, but sometimes people want a solid connection. If the outlet gets broke, you'll still have power that feeds through. And I'm going to go to another room in this house and I'm going to show you three 14.2s coming into one box and pigtail that. So I'm going to give you a little quick demo on how to wire up an outlet. This is one of the videos in the series that I'm going to do. Let me flip you around and get you situated in here. And I'm going to zoom in. Get my finger on the button. Alright. Got a single gang car line box. First thing we're going to do is we're going to strip back the jackets. And this wire is coming from the bottom of the box. Go about 3/4 of an inch from the back of the box. Score lightly until you get to the bottom 1 inch and score heavy. Grab your wire, pull your jacket, put your blade at the box, put a little pressure on it, and pull your plastic jacket off. No slices. That causes damage. Do the other one. 3/4 of an inch from the back of the box. Score down the jacket. Score heavy right at the end. Put your blade on it and pull. Put your trash in the trash box that you got beside you. If you do that as you go along, you'll have a cleaner, tidier job site. We're going to pull our hots and neutrals up, push our grounds to the bottom left corner, push them all the way to the back of the box. We're going to start spiraling them. I'm going to take my Klein hybrid lineman's pliers. I'm going to put in the middle of those two wires. We're going to give a little spin to it, and we're going to pick the shortest wire, which is this one right here, and we're going to cut it off. We want to make sure that we have a minimum of 6 inches from the back of the box out to the end of the wire. I've got more than that. We're going to take our greeny wire nuts, and they have a hole in the end of it. These are specified for grounding, bonding grounds together. This works great on a single wire through installation. You really can't use this with two wires coming out. I'm going to spin that wire nut on. We're going to push it to the back of the box, keeping it on that left-hand side. We're going to bend a hook at the bottom of our wire. We're going to take our receptacle, place it on there. We're going to take our number 2 Roberts drive, and I've got an ideal. See if I can zoom you back a little bit. You're a little close. I've got an ideal 6-in-1 plus nut driver. Nut driver is on the very end of it. That saves the fingers. We're going to put our number 2 Roberts drive in it. Snug it up. Now on this particular application, we're going to even our wires up, cut off the extra, do the same thing on the black. We're going to take our wires, now they're both coming in from the bottom, we're going to coach them up to the top, no kinks, radiuses are better than kinks, so we got a short length hanging out. Now you notice we've got more than enough wire than what we need. We're going to strip back approximately an inch. We're going to grab 3/8 of an inch of the end of the wire. We're going to do a spiral. So we've got a 180 bend in it. Same thing on this one, 3/8 of an inch bend. So you've got a nice little hook loop, such as so. We're going to do the same thing to our hot leg. Bend 3/8 of an inch over. Grab our other hot leg, strip 1 inch, then 3/8 over. Now, into this jaw is a perfect measurement for your rollover. Now, I always hook up the neutrals first. Bring this neutral up, we're going to hook it. We're going to bring the second one up, we're going to hook it. And you always want to make sure
that your wire is spiraled around the screw in a clockwise fashion. So when you tighten it, it gets tighter around the terminal. If you turn it the other way, it will spin off on you. Now, another thing you want to make sure you're doing is make sure that this insulation jacket does not pass the back of this outlet. I've got both of them. So they're landing even or not quite even to the back of the outlet. We're going to go to our hot side. We're going to hook both of our wires up. I'm going to pull a little tension. If you can see my finger, I've got my fingers on the back. I'm pulling tension so that it's bottoming on that screw. We're going to snug that one up. We'll snug the last one up. We're going to make sure ground stays to the bottom. You want to make sure that your ground does not get in contact with your neutrals or your hots. We'll push it in the box. We're going to take our Milwaukee M12 impact. We'll zip them in. Now this box is pretty flush with the sheetrock, not a problem. We want to make sure that we send this outlet to whatever side more damage is on. I'm going to send it that way. We're going to take our package. No utility knife required. Grab the corner, strong hold it, pull down, pull your outlet cover off. This is a duplex plastic flexible outlet cover. It's what they call the unbreakable. We're going to take our 6-in-1 ideal screwdriver and I'm going to flip the bit one time. So if you noticed, I've got Robert's drive on one side for the device and I've got a straight blade for your trim screw. A lot of your 6-in-1 screwdrivers don't have this combination, so on the other brand of screwdrivers you have to physically pull it out to switch your bits around. This screwdriver in this configuration was a win-win for Ideal. One flip from end to end. That's your device for your Robert's drive for your devices, and that's your trim screw, small flat blade. So we're getting ready to go to the next outlet. Now for illustration purposes, I'm going to pigtail these together. Not a code requirement on 214.2s coming into this box, but it is a code requirement when you have 314.2s coming in one box. They have to be pigtailed. Basically, we're going to do the same thing that we did with the other outlet. Score very lightly until you get to the very end, and then score heavy. Because if you slice the very end of your wire and you nick the jacket, you're going to cut it off anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Put your utility knife on the center portion of your insulation jacket and pull. No slices. We don't want to damage the protective insulation on your wiring. Pull off your paper. Grab your grounds. Grounds always first. Pull to the bottom of the box. Pull your neutrals and your hots to the top of the box. Coach them over into the back. Put your grounds together. Spin them together. Put your linements in the center of the wire. Spin them. You get a nice spiral, tight spiral there. Take the shortest wire and clip it off. Take your greenie, slide it onto your wire like so, and tighten it up. Push it to the top and to the back left side. We'll cut off just a little bit. Still need 6 inches from the back of the box when the wire is pulled out straight. We're going to put our little hook. We're going to hook our outlet in there. We'll take our Robert's drive number 2, put it onto the device and tighten it up. Now these receptacles that I have to use are tamper resistant. Now this particular receptacle does not have a TR on the front of it. Some of them are stamped, some of them are not. But if you look in the holes, you'll see a shutter inside of there, which will stop me. That's not a good illustration. A good illustration would be a bare copper. So a bare copper So I'm gonna take a bare copper out of this. Tap your wire, pull that out. This would be more of a better illustration. This is to prevent a kid from pushing a wire in either one of these. Basically to reduce shock hazard. Now, see where this bottoms out? It goes in about 1/4 to 5/16 of an inch. Doesn't go in far enough to make contact on the inside. Keeps kids safe. Now we're gonna do on this one. We're gonna do piggybacks. So I'm gonna put the neutrals together toward the back of the box. I'm gonna spiral them together. I'm gonna take the blacks and spiral them together. I'm gonna cut them to the appropriate length. I like about 8 inches, 8 to 9 inches from the back of the box. I'm gonna cut them all off at one time. I'm gonna take a white and a black wire out of this Romex jacket that I've got. And we are going to take the neutral wire. I'm going to strip back 1 inch. Got 1 inch on that. Take back, strip 1 inch on that wire, 1 inch on that one. Now, if you line all these up, and you see I got them all lined up in a row, put your linemen's on there and do a loose spin on those wires. You'll see a nice little spiral. I'm going to cut it back so it's about 5/8 of an inch long. I'm going to use the appropriate wire nut for 3 14 gauge wires tightened together, twisted together. We're going to put a yellow on there. Alright, that one's done. I'm going to take our black, strip back 1 inch on 3 wires. And we're going to twist this together. Now, got them all twisted together. We're going to cut it off so we got 5/8 of an inch of reveal. Now, if you want to double check yourself, if you look at the direct end of this wire, you should see 3 conductors lined up together. Make sure one is not past another on this, because it could possibly come loose and you'll lose power in the circuit. You put these wire nuts on, you want to make sure that this wire nut conceals all the conductors, and all the bare conductors fall inside the wire nut. We're going to take these 2 wires and see in the direction that they're coming from the bottom. I'm going to grab these 2 and I'm going to spiral these 2 in my box and pushing them to the back. So they're face up. I'm going to take these 2 single legs, now that they're pigtailed together. I'm going to strip 7/8 to 1 inch, curl them over. So I got a hook. I'm going to hook my neutral up first. Grounds are already done. Tighten that one up. Now, to prevent an accidental strike on drywallers, knives, if a repair comes back and is done at a later date, I always tighten these extra screws up that are not being used so they don't protrude, possibly causing somebody to get shocked or for them to short their tool out if they're working around this outlet. I've seen it happen. Nice curls of wire to the back. Keep your ground, see where my fingers are at, keep your ground to the bottom. Get it lined up. Get your impact. Alright. So I've got the outlet as far that way as possible because this gap is bigger. We are using mid-sized plates, which helps cover up the damage, but if you were using a standard size plate, it's quite possible if you had this outlet that direction, you would see a little bit of this on the side. Take our 6-in-1, flip it to our trim out flat blade. Now when I put my switch covers and outlet covers on, I always put my screws the same direction. Customers pay attention to this. That's in the vertical fashion. And throughout this house, every switch cover and outlet cover is going to be in the vertical fashion. Now I'm going to take you and we're going to pigtail 3 14-3s in one box. All right, we've got 3 14-2 wires coming out of this box. We're going to strip back our jacket on each one of these, being careful not to cut yourself. And a way to prevent getting cut works really good. You'll learn this over time. Get your blade started in the back, do a light score. If you notice, I'm stopping right where my hand's at, passing the utility knife, and I'm scoring heavy to the end. So stop your knife on the wire, move your hand, and then finish the cut. Do not cut over top of the wire where your hand is at. It is a good way to cut your fingers. I'll do it one more time so you all can see this. All right, get toward the end, slide your hand past it, such as so, and finish your cut. Less bloodshed is a good thing in my book. Jesus shed his blood on the cross of Calvary for our sins, and we don't have to shed our blood for the remission of sin that he had to do. Thank you, Jesus. I'm going to push our grounds up into the back because we've got all these conductors coming in the bottom, and I'm going to make sure I'm not crossing over. Push our grounds all the way to the back, get them evened up, start spinning them. Put my lineman's on there with the open side looking to me. I want to make sure I don't nick those wires in that jaw. Now, just so you know, these pliers are awesome. I will be making a video or a tool video about them and a modification video about them. They do have a small flaw. I've made Klein representative aware of this issue, and as far as I know, they still haven't corrected the issue. So I will be making a demo and an alteration to a set of these pliers in a video coming up. These are the Klein's, goodness gracious, it looks like 1857. That's the year they were established. Model number J2158CR. So, ladies and gentlemen, look, in an upcoming video for that, twist it tight, push it up over to the left and toward the back. Now, if you need to coach it a little bit more, you can put your pliers on that and push it to the back. Get your hook situated. Go ahead and get your ground tightened. And you want to take these and group these together so they're not crisscrossing each other. Neutrals on the left, push them to the back, start twisting them together with your finger holding tension at the back. Take your hots, push them to the back, start twisting them together. Get you a position on this, cut them evenly. Take your shortcut piece of wire. Usually I do about 10 inches long. Take your lineman's, tap the end so you can get those conductors pulled out. There is no need to cut the jacket on this little short wire. Tapping it usually brings them out. So we're going to use the black and we're going to use the white. This is pigtailing 3 14-gauge wires together. You're going to strip back an inch. We're going to do the hot first, like so. All right, and we got that. We're going to put all these together and put them in the pliers, the lineman's pliers. We're going to do a loose spin so that all of the wires lay good together. All right, I'm going to trim back, so we got 5/8 of an inch of reveal. Now on this particular application, I prefer the tan colored wire nuts. Ideal makes these. Other companies make them. This is a Morris brand wire nut. That's what I use. We're gonna spin our we're gonna spin our tan wire nut on. I'm gonna use my wire nut spinner. And this saves on the fingers, especially 12 gauge. All right, I'm gonna take this wire. I'm gonna spiral it to the back. No kinks. I'll coach it to the back. Rolls and radiuses are better than kinks. All right, we're gonna do this neutral. I'm gonna strip back 1 inch on each conductor. Strip back our pigtail. I'm gonna flush. I'm gonna make sure these are flushed up, like so. We'll start spinning them together. Loose spin. All right, now see, these didn't come out even. I've got 2 that are long. I've got 2 that are short. What I'm going to do is cut them off. There's 5/8 of an inch reveal. And we're going to take our tan wire nut and spin it on. And we're going to make sure that none of that bare conductor is hanging out of that wire nut. Flip it around, take a good look, make sure nothing's hanging out. We're going to spiral this to the back of the box so it's all nestled in there. I'm going to cut about 1 inch, 1.25 inches off of each one of those conductors. I'm going to strip back 1 inch, bend your hook, strip 1 inch on this one, and bend your hook. And then we're going to do your connection. Then again, number 2 Robert's drive. Snug them up. This extra screw we're not using. I'm going to tighten that one up. Tighten her hot up. Now, hot goes to the gold side, which is the small bleed on the facing of the outlet. The white wire goes on the silver screw, which is the large bleed facing the outlet. Take your finger, coach that ground wire to the bottom. Now this outlet's fairly flush. We don't need any spacers on it. Make sure you're not cross-threading these receptacles. Snug it up so that your screw is in a vertical fashion. If you want to do horizontal, that's fine too. So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the video installation of a common household outlet. These are 15 amp rated, tamper-proof outlets. And they have a 20 amp feed through rating, so you can actually use these outlets on 14.2 and 12.2 wire. This particular house is wired on 14.2. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this video was help to you in possibly installing outlets either now or in the future. And I asked you if you thought this video was informative in any way, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. One thing I want to ask you to do, these videos are getting fairly popular, and I would like to know, at the bottom, I'm going to put a comment. I'm going to put 2 comments at the bottom. One is educational, and the other comment is going to be entertainment value. I want you to check the box if this is entertainment for you or if this is educational for you. It would greatly help me in determining how to route these videos. If this was help to you at all, please consider subscribing. God bless you. All have a wonderful day.